Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, my name is Nicole. I am a fourth grade teacher, and if you're not new to my channel, I do a lot of vlogs, teaching vlogs specifically, and yeah, days of my life, things like that. But today I'm going to be doing something new, and hopefully I can do this every month. It's like a little reset video. And basically, some of my favorite YouTubers do these, like Hannah Ashton and Abby Aslam that I watch on YouTube. They do these, and they just kind of do a reset every month. They like just tell us like what some fun things they did, favorite books they read, things like that. So I thought it would be fun to do that. We are approaching end of July, so I'm going to do a little August reset to get ready for August and just give you a little recap of my month of July. So yes, some resets I know do like finance and everything. I am not going to do that because one, I am awful at budgeting, so I'm not going to sit here and give like tips on how I budget when I don't budget at all, really. And I'm not going to give you advice on how to do it. And second off, I don't feel comfortable sharing that part of my life on social media. I'll be honest, I'm an Indiana teacher. I'm going into like my third full year of teaching, so with just an undergrad degree, so you can kind of guess on how much I make. You could go look it up pretty much on how much I make if you want to. I will give you a little context though. I do live with my parents. I live in a small town in southern Indiana, and small county, and we don't really have like apartments where you can rent. We do have apartments, but they're not really the safest. So I'm very thankful my parents are letting me live here. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're probably saving so much money and you probably have so much money saved up, blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna be quite frank, I don't. And I always have to kind of explain this to people because yes, I'm so gracious and grateful that my parents are letting me live here for free. I pay a lot of bills on my own though. I will tell you what I do pay for. So I pay for my phone bill, my car payment, car insurance, gas. I'm paying off my student loans. Yeah, is that really it? I mean, like if I go to a doctor's office and I have like a payment, I pay for that. You know, if I like want to go out with my friends, I pay for that. Pay for my clothes, things like that. So for the most part, like I pretty much pay for everything except for like housing stuff. And I don't pay for my own insurance because my mom has really good insurance. So I'm on her insurance until next year. Whenever I turn 26, sadly, I'll have to get off of it. But then I'll be taking on that payment too. So yes, I know it's probably like everyone's probably like, you have probably racked up so much money, you can buy a house and blah blah blah. Because like where I live at, like that's the smartest thing to do, is to buy a house, like not living in an apartment. But we all know what the housing market is right now, and it's just not the best. And I always kind of joke around with some of my friends. I'm like, okay, cool, if I do buy a house, like I'm not gonna be able to afford to like put stuff in my house, you know, like, so that's always kind of funny too, is like we talk about that. But yeah, so I am really grateful that I get to live at home. And I will say, if I'm single too, if you didn't know that about me. I hopefully by the time either I'm married or I'm 30, whichever comes first, I am hoping to be out of my parents' house. Like that's kind of like my goal. So yeah, whether I'm married first or I turn 30. So we will see which one comes first. But yeah, okay, so make sure if you are ever wanting to like actually like get in like real time of like some of my favorite things, and you don't want to wait till the end of the month, follow me on Instagram, because I give like every time I read a book, I give it a review. If I like watch a movie or TV show, things like that, I'll give it a review, or some fun things I'm doing. So if you don't want to wait, if you want to see it in real time, definitely check out my Instagram. I'll have it down below. But anyways, okay, so I bought this little notebook at TJ Maxx. It was on sale for $4.50. And here I just kind of kept some of my favorites and like the books I read, shows and movies I watched. And then I did make a goal for August, so we are gonna talk about that. But first up, let's recap July. So I actually just finished. I woke up this morning. I was gonna try to finish it last night, but then I ended up watching the U.S. Women's gymnastics from earlier yesterday morning. So I was like, okay, I want to watch that. So I woke up this morning and I finished this book so I could film this today. But I read I read 6 books for the month of July, which is not bad. And yeah, I don't really ever put I do have a Goodreads account, and I did make a goal of 65 books this year, and I think I'm at 42 or 43 whenever I uploaded that one from this morning. But I don't really put a limit because some books I fly right through, and then some books, like the one I just finished this morning, when I looked at it took me 9 days to finish, which is kind of a long time for me theoretically. Normally, I will say 4 books is like my average. Normally I can read like 1 per week, but it just depends. You never know how long. So I don't really put pressure on myself like, oh, I need to read this many books for the month, because then I feel like I'm gonna fall out of love in reading. So okay, here we go. So first up I read some really good books this month too, by the way, and I do feel like I'm a pretty easy reader, and I'll explain why. So I read The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I love anything this girl writes. I don't think she can write a bad book, in my opinion. Love it. I don't know how in the world she can write a book and get you into it the first 5 pages. I don't know how. She's the only author I know that can do that, but love all her books. Basically, if I give a 4 out of 5, I'm like, I love it, I couldn't put it down, type of thing. A 5 out of 5 is I love it, I couldn't put it down. I'm still thinking about it days later after I read it. So that's how you kind of get a 5 out of 5, or I'm emotionally involved with it. But yeah. Okay, next up is The Bodyguard, by Catherine Center. Hers is a 4 out of 5. If you are wanting some romance books but you don't want smut in it, I highly recommend this author. She came across my For You page on TikTok, and I believe her husband's an English middle school teacher, and all of his students were complaining because they were having a hard time finding books that they were able to read, because some books have a lot of steamy parts in it. So this one didn't. It did have a few cuss words in it, but it wasn't really any smut. So it was a cute little romance book. Next up, I read The Next Mrs. Parrish. This was book number 2, and it's by Liv Constantine. I gave it a 4 out of 5. This is the second book to The Last Mrs. Parrish, and I read that one a couple of years ago and I really liked it. Again, this one really kept my interest, and I didn't want to put it. There was a couple times where I could put it down, but mostly I did not want to put it down for the most part. Next up, I read She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubiak. I gave it a 4 out of 5. She's also starting to become one of my favorite authors. She's kind of like Frida, where she just intrigues me right away, and I don't want to put it down, but really liked it. Next up, I read War D by Frida McFadden, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. I have to say, that's probably the scariest book I have read, thriller-wise. I don't know how I didn't have any nightmares, because I don't like scary movies and that kind of thing. And I've never felt that way about Frida, any of her books, until that book. And I was I was just oh my gosh, this is kind of creepy, but we got through it. And then the last one I read is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 because I was into it, and I wish I would have had a little more context to this, so I'm going to give you the context to it. it is like an enemies to lovers romance, which I love. I love enemies to romance, enemies to lovers romance. Love those kind of things. But they were like, she was inside of a, this is what I didn't know. She was stuck inside of a novel, a love story book from one of her favorite authors. And it was like, she couldn't mess it up because it would like mess up the book, that kind of thing, you know, like, I don't know. I didn't love that part. That part I could have went without. And I think that's why it took me so long to finish, because when we got to that part in the book, I was like, I just wanted to put it down. Like, I did not want to keep reading. But the romance part of it, it was pretty good. There's only like one chapter, the whole book, that had like smut, I would say, and it's not really even that bad. But I didn't think it was bad. That only had like one chapter of it. Okay, next up we have shows. So I have a lot of shows I need to watch. Netflix is really starting to come out. I feel like Netflix goes through periods where they have nothing good is coming out. But right now they have quite a bit. So I did watch Receiver. I am a big football fan. Got my Giants shirt on. And so I love anything that's like centered around football, or, you know, you kind of get to be nosy and get to look inside of these players' lives. And I did like it. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. And I really did like the guys. Now I will say none of them were Giants players. And I really wasn't like, I didn't know if I was gonna watch it or not, because I just wasn't really intrigued with the players. But I will say I did like some of them. Like some of them, like I kind of gained like more respect for. Like I was like, okay, you know, I think I judged you, like, and I judged you differently after I watched that series. So yeah. I don't like some of the parents. I think some of their parents, it's like, I'm not gonna name names, but some of the parents, it was very cringy, and I thought, I don't know, I just did not like them. But yeah, but some parents I really liked. So give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I started Young Sheldon. So my mom and I have kind of been watching on it. We still have DirecTV at our house. So like mom and I would sometimes like watch some episodes, but I saw it on Netflix. I was like, you know what? Even though it's one of those shows you don't have to watch from start to finish, I was like, I'm just gonna watch it in order. And I'm halfway through season 3 right now, and I really like it. It's just super funny, and it's one that you can kind of relax to and in the evenings. And I like that when I'm like working on my puzzles, I like to just put it on, and yeah, I just kind of get right through them. But I really do like Young Sheldon, and I think Missy's so funny. I really like Missy. Okay, movies. I am not a big movie person, and if Abby and Josh are watching this, they know this. I'm just not a big movie person. I don't know why, but I'm not. But anyways, I did watch 2 movies for this month. I watched The Hating Game off, I think it was on Disney Plus. And I really liked it. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Has Lucy Hale in it. And this is definitely a like enemies to lovers romance. Like that kind of, and the whole time I was watching it, like halfway through the movie, I was like, this would literally be something I would read. So I looked it up, and it is a book, so I might read it. But yeah, I really, really liked it. And then last movie I did see this month was the new movie Twisters with Glen Powell. Very good looking. We all know that. I would rate it also a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. I could never do it. Never in my life would I ever catch storm chaser thing and go after tornadoes. No way. But I really did like it. Okay, last bit I want to talk about July is some of my favorite things I did. We had it was kind of a slower but kind of a busy month. And so really 2 things that stuck out to me in July was, first off, Delia and I went to go see Niall Horan in concert. We were big One Direction fans growing up. I actually got tickets for my 16th birthday and I took Delia, and then for my birthday this year she got me Niall Horan tickets, so we finally got to go see him and it was really fun. He did play Night Changes. I was hoping he was gonna play one more One Direction song, but he didn't, but it's okay. I was happy with Night Changes and it was just so much fun getting to like sing and be with Delia. But yeah. And then my second thing was my mom and my aunt, they are twins and they turned 50 years old. And so we had a little party. I kind of threw it. I seriously love throwing parties. Like, I wish we did live in a bigger area because I would totally advertise that and do it on the side as teaching. I think that would be such a good like side gig. But yeah, I had so much fun and I think everyone did at the party. So very happy with how it turned out. Okay, so every month, so next month, at the end of the month, we will discuss my goals, my August goals, to see how well I did. Okay, that's how it's gonna kind of work. But I kind of broke it up into 3 categories. I have a fitness, money, and personal. Even though I said I'm not really gonna talk about budgeting, I am gonna set myself limits on money and things that like I need to work on, because I need to work on my money, I'll be honest. But yeah, okay, so first up is for fitness. I want to walk 10,000 steps a day. I have been slacking on that this summer because it's just been hot and I just have not been wanting to walk. I'm gonna be completely honest, but school is starting and so I will be on my feet a lot more and I'll be getting my steps. But getting 10,000 steps in a day is goal. Work out 6 times a week. I pretty much do that now, but I just want to keep up with that. And then I want to drink 48 ounces water a day, which is going to be 2 of these. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot of water, but if you are a teacher, you know how hard it is to get your water intake in. So going to really push myself and keep doing it. I've done pretty well this summer. I have some days where I don't do well at drinking water still, but for the most part I've done pretty well, so I'm hoping to get that into the school year. But yeah, okay, money wise, I am going to set a limit on buying no clothes and no books for the month of August, because one, I went on a really big shopping spree honestly last week with Old Navy having their sales and different stores like that. It's still going to be super hot here in Indiana. It's not like we're gonna get fall weather. So I have clothes that's gonna get me through the month of August. So I'm not gonna buy any clothes this month. And I'm not gonna buy any books because I have 7 books on my shelf back here that needs to be read. So I don't need to buy any more books until I read through those. So that is my goal on money wise. So find out at the end of the month if I did that or not. Personal, I want to take myself out kind of like on a single day. I haven't done one of those in a while. So besides like running errands, but I kind of want to like get a little bit better and do something a little bit more than that. But yeah. Okay, so a couple things that I'm looking forward to in August is, first up, school is starting. I'm getting to the point where I am getting super excited about school to start, so I cannot wait to meet my students. Actually, next week I get to meet them, so I'm very excited about that. And then we have that. The Giants are playing in a couple preseason games, so I'm excited to see them. My dad is turning 51, so we'll get to celebrate as a family for his birthday. I'm excited over that. And then lastly, so excited, It Ends With Us comes out and Delia and I are gonna go see it, maybe Micah, and I'm just so excited to go see it. And yeah, that was like the book that got me back into reading, so I'm super excited to watch it. But yeah, okay, I'm going to end the vlog off here. I will see you guys in a month to discuss how August goals went, and I'll have my September goals ready. But yes, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Like and subscribe.